Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. My name is Winged Supernova, and in the last episode, well, Mr. Sholmes made a bit of a mix-up in sending some stuff to the pawnbrokers, so we are going to visit the pawnbrokery and see if we can get that stuff back for him. Ooh. It's like a little shop of 1,000 things. Even got plants out front. So this is a British pawnbrokery. Oh my, there are all sorts of tools and contraptions in here that I've never laid eyes on before. Ah, Susato-san, that spark of wonder in your eyes. You can't wait to scour the shelves, can you? I get the impression you enjoy places like this? Oh yes, I don't know why, but seeing such a lot of things I don't understand is a real thrill for me. My dear fellows, let us not forget why we are here. Oh, Mr. Sholmes. We are calling on matters of business, not pleasure. And clearly Mr. Sholmes means business too, judging from the spark of fury in his eyes. Oh boy.
Mr. Sholmes, sir. Welcome back.
Did you hear that brazen welcome? Well, yes, we are potential customers after all. We are disgruntled customers, Mr. Naruhodo, and it's time to inform Mr. Windybank of our ire. Come, the fight is afoot. Oh boy. Well, I guess I'll look at a few things first. I want to look at this first. What are you doing, my dear fellows? We are not here to browse for interesting curios. We have come to teach this broker a lesson. Oh, but there are just so many fascinating items. It looks as though we'll have to talk to Mr. Windybank first before you can explore in here, Mrs. Sato. Ah, that's disappointing. But expected. Naturally, you will recall this, which I retrieved from you some days ago.
Yes.
This second-rate fiddle is not my faithful instrument, Mr. Windybank. The color of the wood is different. It has holes in it. It's not even the same size. A wonderful summary of our observations, Mr. Sholmes.
I'm so very sorry, sir. How utterly unforgivable of me. An inexcusable mistake for a pawnbroker. There's only one way to make amends.
Oh, okay. I thought he was right. Jesus Christ! No! What? Can you not? I shall have to take my own life. The amount of terror I felt seeing this man pick up a gun and then run towards the screen with it. Jesus Christ. I don't think that will be necessary, do you?
If I may just say one thing before I pop off.
That's alright. Ah, yes.
It was you, sir, Mr. Sholmes, who took it upon himself to remove the item the other day, I believe.
Sorry?
As I recall, I entered the storeroom to fetch your violin when I heard, "Ah, here it is."
You did?
And when I turned to controvert you, you had taken the viola and left, sir.
Uh-oh.
However, there can be no doubt that the blame lies firmly at my own door for allowing you to leave. So I shall not grumble or grouse any longer. May this guilt die with me.
No, stop, my dear fellow. The fault is mine.
Phew.
It would appear that the fight is over. I do humbly apologize, Mr. Windybank. Evidently my questionable disposition precipitated this tragedy.
Well, you wouldn't be Mr. Herlock Sholmes without that questionable disposition now, would you?
I do believe you may be right, sir. It's either laugh or cry, I suppose. I agree with that.
You are, it must be said, one of my more challenging customers. I needn't remind you of the peculiar collection of items you've brought through my door in the past.
Oh, peculiar items?
In the extreme, ma'am. For example, the unpublished manuscript of an eponymous work, the novels of Sholmes or some such.
Oh my, a new full-fledged novel? And unpublished? A story I have yet to read, you mean?
Oh, forgive me!
Wait, before you die, you must tell me more! Jesus Christ, this fucking game. I must know more. Tell me everything. Wow, Susato-san is really fired up now. Is there really an unpublished... Oh, is there really an unpublished story under this very roof?
Well, one day the gentleman here brought in an old metal chest, you see.
I should like to entrust this to your care for a while, Mr. Windybank.
For a chest like that, 1 shilling, sir. Not a farthing more.
It houses something of very great value indeed. The latest manuscript, recounting the adventures of one Mr. Sholmes.
I beg your pardon? A manuscript? You wish to deposit a manuscript?
Indeed I do, for I am confident it will be quite safe here.
And that was that. As such, Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom.
Mr. Sholmes, is that really true? Do I sense that someone doesn't want to talk about this? I continue to pay your fee, do I not? Then kindly continue to store my belongings securely.
Of course, sir, of course. They're safe and sound with me, I assure you, on my life.
This is all very strange. I'm gonna assume that gun isn't loaded, because if it is, what the fuck? I wonder, could I ask you something?
Ah, a gentleman from the East, I see. Yes, that sable suit. I suppose I could offer you 6 pence for it. Without wishing to offend, the tone is somewhat dull.
Sorry?
Aha, but for your splendid attire, ma'am, 5 guineas, no less. The colors are exquisite, the design exotic. Eastern artistry at its finest, may I say.
Oh my, 5 guineas, you say? How interesting. Why do I feel as though I've suffered some sort of defeat here? Absolutely you have. Actually, I was hoping to ask you about your business. I've heard it is said that pawnbrokeries are used rather like banks here in London.
Yes, sir, indeed. Many of my customers utilize the establishment as you describe. I appraise their items and offer them a proportionate loan and 2 months of secure stowage. If, in that time, they repay the original sum to me plus the agreed interest, their items are happily returned.
Oh, interesting. So it's like... It's kind of like the storage facilities that pop up everywhere around here, except they're not. It's not a scam. Potentially, it's not a scam. It depends on the interest that you're charging these people. But what happens if they don't pay you the money?
Then the items are offered for sale at my shop, as you can see on the shelves behind me.
So you never sell items before the 2 months has passed, then?
That's right, ma'am, that's right. Which means some considerable responsibility rests on my shoulders. Should a customer's precious belonging be lost, the only recompense is for me to end it all. Christ.
The very idea, Mr. Windybank, is an absurdity. One should never talk of one's demise so casually, says the man who was telling us it was a good day to die only this morning. And let us not forget that I have already helped you take measures to ensure such a tragedy never occurs. Oh, what sort of measures? I engineered a simple device, which Mr. Windybank has installed here in his shop. I call it the Red-Handed Recorder. Is that not so, Mr. Windybank? What was that deep sigh about? probably doesn't work as described. What on... Ooh, sorry. What on earth is a red-handed recorder? Use your eyes, my dear fellow. There are two just below the ceiling. I can see what appears to be a camera attached to some sort of timing device. I'm blind because I cannot see it. Very astute. It is indeed a camera furnished with some 100 pieces of celluloid film. And every 30 minutes precisely, the camera automatically records the appearance of the shop.
Here, I have an example I can show you.
Ah yes, a print from the camera sent to record the activity at the shop counter. I developed a special type of film so sensitive it produces a crystal clear image even in darkness. Really, that's extraordinary. Yes, you can clearly see the counter and the door behind it. Look! I wonder if we'll keep that. So, you see, were someone to enter the premises with ill intent, his identity would be summarily exposed. But, did you not say that the photographic prints were taken at 30-minute intervals? Indeed, as you say, my dear madam. Then what if the incident were to occur in between times? One could only say that it would be a cruel twist of fate.
I must confess, your devices have been giving me some cause for distress as of late.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Windybank. Surely they are anything but distressing. Reassuring is the word.
It's the cost of the film, sir. You most graciously placed not one, but 2 cameras in my shop after all. Which means I must pay for nigh on 100 utterly useless prints every single day. I'm afraid the cost of the film will break me before I'm very much older.
Nevertheless, a small price to pay to ensure the safety of my preferred pawnbroker, now. My dear fellows, we verge on an age where safety and security come at a price.
Oh, heaven help us.
Well, that was enlightening.
Now then, Mr. Sholmes, allow me to return your precious violin.
Ah, the very thing. Thank you, Mr. Windybank.
Perhaps this might mark the end of the peculiar items you try to pop, Because if anything were to happen to one of them, this would be the only answer.
I really think you ought to stop waving that gun around. Someone could get hurt.
Fear not.
Sorry?
I've only loaded a single bullet, so no one but myself could possibly be harmed.
That's not really what I meant. Good day to you, then, Mr. Windybank.
It's been a pleasure as always, Mr. Sholmes.
They're like casually dropping little things that you think could potentially be used in a murder trial later. Like if that gun's used and it's fired more than one shot, then that's kind of crazy. So, Mr. Naruhodo, now we can explore at last. Alright, so now we can explore at last, of course. So let's look at this stuff. Look at this! Look at this lovely big shiny Boxby! That, my dear madam, is a music box. Surely you have such things in your own country? Oh my, yes, but I've certainly never seen one so large before. Shall we listen a while? That's interesting. Ah, what a sublime sound. It's like the music of angels. I've never heard anything like it before in my life. This particular specimen is of the larger variety commonly found in public houses and restaurants. There is a metal disc inside on which the notes to be played are recorded. Simply by replacing the disc with another, any music you care to imagine can be played. My goodness, what a simply delightful machine. Indeed, though their popularity has waned recently with the development of the gramophone, of course. Science and technology advance at such an overwhelming pace. Well, yeah, especially at this time period. The Industrial Revolution. A little bit of a yawn there. It is 8:34 when I'm recording this, so getting a little bit late. What an assortment of things there are on these shelves here. Crockery, footwear, clocks, and watches. Almost anything you care to imagine. Those are forfeited items offered for sale by the pawnbroker. What does that really mean, though? When you pawn, or colloquially pop, an item, the broker loans you money against its worth. He stores the item for an agreed period of time, after which the loan must be repaid. If not, he is free to display it in his shop for sale, at a price of his choosing. Oh yes, now you've explained it, I'm noticing little price tags on everything. Of course, simply by paying the agreed interest on the loan, one can extend the period of safekeeping. So you may pawn that black garb of yours without fear, my dear fellow. My treasured university uniform? Never. It embodies my student spirit. You have student spirit? What else? What's over here? Look at that enormous ledger open on the counter there. Mr. Windibank is, if nothing else, very particular about recording the items he accepts. He'd have to be, otherwise he'd get himself into all sorts of trouble. Which might explain the thing that catches my eye far more than the ledger. This revolver here. Do not entertain even a single thought of pilfering an article herein, my dear fellow. I assure you, Mr. Windibank would not hesitate to draw that weapon with a speed belying his portly size. Oh, you don't mean he'd... blow his brains out? Indeed. In recompense for his blunder? No, he wouldn't shoot the intruder, he'd just kill himself. He's like, oh, you grabbed a Kit Kat, bam, fucking dead. Oh my. But in any case, of course we would never do such a thing. How could you even suggest it? That was enlightening. What is this thing down here? Look at this! Whatever could it be used for? I have no idea. Ah. There's a small catch just here. Look. We're going to open it, aren't we? Oh my, that's amazing! It has some sort of spring-loaded mechanism. Which we'll never manage to put back to the way it was before. What are you two doing? What? Us? Nothing. No, nothing at all. Whatever this device is, it seems to have a pair of little windows to look through. I feel as though I've seen something rather similar to this elsewhere. Yeah, it seems like the cat door thing. Almost. It is April 13th? 15th. That's not a calendar you could easily miss, is it? 15th of April, today's date.
Yes, that's not for sale, I must point out. It is an Eastern-style, page-a-day calendar. Every night at midnight, I tear off the front page to reveal the following day's date. The perfect calendar for a tearaway fellow such as yourself, Mr. Windibank.
And who was it who walked out of here with the wrong violin before?
Well, when the agreed storage period has passed without repayment, articles are forfeited, you see. So I have to keep a close eye on the date. It's something of a pawnbroker's obsession, you might say.
Oh yes, I can see you're very dedicated to your job. Now, what do you suppose this rather enormous machine does? It seems to have two little windows for looking through. I almost said talking for some reason.
Allow me to enlighten you, my dear fellows. What you are looking at is a stereoscope.
A stereos... Fascination. Fascinating.
She didn't even finish the word. It is aptly named, I assure you. Look through the eyepieces and see for yourself.
Oh, I should be delighted to. Excuse me a moment while I just have a look.
Just before you do, there is something I should point out. My dear fellows, In order to see the image properly, stereoscopically as it were, you will need to be cross-eyed. However, if that is beyond you, it is of little consequence today.
Alright then, I'm going to try it. Ah! Mr. Naruhodo, you must see, at once!
Alright then. So I need to be cross-eyed, like I'm trying to look at my own nose. What the? I don't believe it. Is it a 3D image? It's just a photographic print, but it seems like you could reach out and touch it. Yes, the sense of depth is startling, is it not? Stereoscopes are one of London's many fads. They are often found in little stalls in the park. People queue for hours just to see them.
Why? Why are people meddling with such black magic?
She's given up and she's just gonna go ahead and... It is no magic, my dear madam. It is, well... far too complicated to explain at present. We shall save this lesson for another day.
Oh.
What? Only 2 pence? Oh, I think this might be our girl from the third case.
What? Only 2 pence for it? That ain't fair and you know it.
The article is barely worth a penny, miss. I cannot offer more. Sounds like there's an argument brewing over by the counter.
Come on, that can't be right. Have you even had a proper butcher's at it?
I've seen all I need to see, young girl. Ah, it is you. Wait, don't we know? I'm sure I recognize her.
Oh yes, it's the young lady from Mr. McGilded's trial 2 months ago. Her name is GINA Lestrade, my lord. She's a chancer, earns her crust among large crowds, relieving people of their purses. What's commonly called a pickpocket.
She had the big fucking smoke gun. Yeah, how you doing, Gina? You look healthy.
Gordon Bennett, you lot!
She's got the... What? How'd she get another one?
Hello, Miss Lestrade. I hope you've been well. Eh? Well, you remember me then, do you?
Well, I remember being completely surrounded by smoke, that's for sure.
So, what are you doing in here? Down and out like the rest of us? Nothing to eat? Come to pop that black weasel? Sorry, coat, have you?
What is it about this black uniform that makes everyone comment on it? Ah, good day. Unless I'm much mistaken. You would be the young pickpocket who stole our experimental smoke grenade launcher.
Ah, Mr. Sholmes!
So, you have something of value to pawn, do you? Allow me to see the article, and I shall negotiate with Mr. Winterbank on your behalf.
Pull the other one. I don't need help from some stuck-up D. Get out of my business. Go on, or I'll make trouble for you.
As you wish, Miss Lestrade. I will happily remove myself from your presence. He's really done it. He's gone. I'm sorry, but as I said, there really is no room for negotiation here. What is that thing he has in his hand? Some kind of metal disc? Oh, is that one of the things that goes in the shit. Whatever the music box is over there.
And you, go on, leave me alone. Oh, Miss Lestrade, just pretend we aren't here. We shan't be offended in the slightest.
Susato-san can really stand her ground when she wants to.
Whatever.
Alright. I did not expect to see her in here. This is interesting. Somehow I didn't really think you were the sort of person who'd use a pawnbroker, Miss Lestrade.
Huh, yeah, well I am alright.
I'm a Londoner just like everyone else. That a problem, is it?
No, not at all. It's just that, well...
Oh, I get it. I know what you're thinking. That thing probably don't even belong there. Probably got it on the dive, didn't she? Yeah, I can see it written all over your Chevy face.
Your Chevy Chase? Is that what you said? Alright. I was not expecting her to say that. I thought she was going to say face. Well, I might have been thinking something along those lines.
You're not going to deny it, Mr. Naruhodo?
I kind of slur my words when I say Mr. Naruhodo because it's like a mouthful, but oh well. Alright then, I'm just gonna come out and ask you straight. Do you pawn things that you steal from other people?
Well, I don't know how best to answer that, really. Suppose, sometimes.
You're not going to deny it? You're not going to deny it either, Miss Lestrade?
But not this time, alright? I swear, that thing belongs to me.
The disc that Mr. Windibank is holding. Perhaps we should see what she has to say about all this. Or what he has to say about all this. Yeah. Okay. Mr. Windibank, what exactly is this metal disc that Miss Lestrade has brought in? It seems to have hundreds of tiny little bumps on its surface.
This is a music disc, you see, for use inside a music box.
In a music box?
What? You don't even know what a music box is? You Eastern lot ain't too savvy, eh?
I know what a music box is. I've just never seen one of these discs before.
The small protrusions on the metal disc encode the tune to be played by the music box. You simply insert the disc and set the machine going, and beautiful music plays.
It's so incredible. Tell us, what tune is on this disc?
Well, I'm afraid I couldn't tell you that. There are so many different types of music box, you see. British-made, German, Swiss. I have no way of knowing which particular machine this disc was made for.
Ah, I see.
And that's it in a nutshell. I wouldn't have any customers for an item like this, even if the young lady forfeited it. Really, I'm already offering more than I should at a penny. That's a packet of lies. He told me he did. He said it was, well...
He?
Who? Never you mind. It just ain't right, that's all. That disc's worth good money, I know it is. Well, then you'll have to try your luck at another pawnbroker's, won't you? She's been in before, of course, this little tatterdemalion.
I see. I've never heard that word before either. I like it, though.
And brought some dubious article or other with her every single time, I might add.
Dubious? What are you trying to say? I'm an honest customer, me.
So, is there something dubious about the disc she brought in today?
Well, if only it were that simple.
Sorry? What do you mean?
What she actually brought in was a storage ticket.
Ah, a storage ticket. So... Miss Lestrade has actually come to redeem an article from you today, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. A girl like me has a lot of stuff what
needs stored. Alright, yes, that's definitely dubious.
The article in question would have to be forfeited at midnight tonight.
Would have been.
But as she gave me the ticket for it and repaid both the loan and the interest, I was obliged to return the article to her.
But what was the article? Do tell us, Mr. Windibank. Probably not due to customer confidentiality.
The little scamp is wearing it, ma'am.
Alright, fuck customer confidentiality. It's that scarf around her neck. Oh, the overcoat. Where'd she get that from?
Oh.
What? What's wrong with that? It fits it, don't it? I mean, it's mine, so of course it does.
So, what about the disc then? How does that come into all of this?
Ah, the disc is something else. A new article to pawn, if the girl and I can agree a price.
I'm confused. I thought you said that Miss Lestrade brought in a storage ticket today.
It's really quite simple. Yes, the child brought me a storage ticket and the money owed on it, as you say.
For this heavy black coat, which you returned to her to care, as I'd understood it.
That's right, yes. And rather unsurprisingly, as soon as the little ragamuffin put the thing on, she went rifling through the pockets.
Oh, you mean...
What? Don't you know it's rude to stare at a lady? Ah, I see. So it came from the pocket of the overcoat, did it?
If you mean this disc, then yes, exactly, ma'am.
And she immediately tried to pawn it for quite a high price as well. This is all rather suspicious, I think. Yeah, it's like she didn't know it was in there. It's like she stole the overcoat, put it in there, like, she brings... Okay, so she brings things that she steals to the pawnbrokers so that it can't be found on her. And then, after she gets enough money to get the stuff out of there... Huh, interesting. That's an interesting scheme. I don't know how it's going to earn her any money, though.
Give it up. I'm just trying to pawn something like anyone else would.
Miss Lestrade, may I ask who deposited the overcoat here in the first place?
Well, me?
It doesn't really appear to be your size.
Me, old man. It's me, old man's, ain't it?
Oh. Oh. Is it, Miss Lestrade? Yes, this is definitely all rather suspicious. Oh boy, I don't know who this is. Out of my way, please. Oh boy, aren't you a prima donna? Who's this picture postcard English gentleman? Yes, look at how he's sitting. Alright, what voice am I gonna give you? You seem like a psychopath. Nope, he seems like a fucking fruitcake. I love it. Oh boy. Good day to you, ladies, gentlemen.
What's your problem, eh?
There is no problem as long as you remove yourself. I've a matter to discuss with the proprietor. And if you intend to make a problem of it, I shall see you outside, little girl. The hiding you deserve.
Damn, he's a dickhead too.
Look, ain't it obvious? I ain't done talking with him yet. If you think you're such a gent, you ought to know how to wait in line.
Well, you are an impudent little brat, aren't you? As well as a pickpocket.
Eh? Who are you? How do you know who I am?
The question is, how do you not know who I am? You haven't the courtesy even to remember the faces of your victims, it seems.
What? You mean from you?
Broker. Yes, sir. I believe this filthy pickpocket thief has just redeemed an article from you now. Yes, the article in question belongs to me. I demand for it to be returned at once.
Oh my. Now that's a lie. What are you trying to pull?
Give me back my overcoat, you wastrel. You wastrel, and needless to say... any music box discs, too.
No, you can't have it. You just can't. It's me old man's. Or it was. Now it's mine.
Goodness, Mr. Naruhodo. This is a very awkward situation. Yes. I think perhaps we should hear both sides of the story in a little more detail. And I guess we will have to hear both stories in the next episode. because this will definitely be running quite late, I think, if we are to hear both right now. And I just noticed a statue of the Thinker back on the wall, so that's going to be the send-off right there. Ace Attorney 1 reference. So that's lovely. So yeah, thank you guys very much for watching, and next time we will get to hear more of Dickbag McGillicuddy and Pickpocket Gina Lestrade. So yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you guys then. Bye-bye.